Hello, viewers. Tonight, I'm going to talk about a particular podcast channel called the Navy Gaze or something of that sort. This, I suppose, same-sex relationship channel happened to interview or invite upon their platform the well-known anti-black bigot known as Diane Yap. They decided to basically invite Diane Yap upon their platform. This is a woman who is well known throughout YouTube, throughout social media as a anti-black racist. And so I just thought it would be interesting to talk about the fact that you have a pro same-sex relationship channel that has basically decided to show that apparently racists are welcome upon their channel. Anti-black racists are welcome upon their channel. And this is one of those things where most people who talk to this woman, most people who interview this woman, I would have to say, if you interview this woman, you know who you're talking to. She is famous. All right, she is famous for calling black people farm equipment. She is famous for telling black people that, to reduce the black people to reduce basically black people who get on welfare benefits, black women should commit abortions, all these types of things. She has said this. This is well known. I have done videos about her. Many people in the black community have done videos about her. Asian people have done videos about her. People of the white social status have done videos about her. People, all over this country have literally done videos about Diane Yap. On Twitter, she's well known. This woman is a well-known racist. I just want to say that before we talk about this. So the channel in question, episode 21 of the Naval Gaze, whatever naval means, I have no idea. I do not understand that, but here she is. Diane Yap has been trying to sort of resurrect her public image by going upon various platforms. And she is happy for any attention that she can get. And so I left this comment right down here so this particular YouTube channel can know, sitting down with anti-black bigot Diane Yap, who said that black people were farm equipment and has repeatedly dehumanized people of the black community. You have taken a side, and we will remember it, and we will. And I'm making sure that everyone can know that the Navy Gaze have done this. When you have people come on your channel, just as if we were to say, hey, let's have someone who basically is very anti, same-sex relationship. Just like they would not appreciate that, if me or anyone else had someone on our channel who's just speaking vitriol against their community. People of the black social status, we're seeing this. We know who this woman is. So I guess this is, a channel of peradventure some racist, some anti-black homosexuals. Let's be frank. Because what else am I supposed to think when I see Diane Yap, who has said, let's get right down to the screenshots. Let's stop joking around. Let's get right down to business. So we can get right down to business and look at how she responds. Racist white people love my ass, and we know they do. So this is in response to a black man who was talking about hip hop. It's a very, very small piece of black American culture. He's talking about the fact that they, their ancestors were slaves. Slave wealth was used to basically create many of the banks in this country. Slave wealth was, the the biggest industry in the United States. That slave wealth, that free labor that they got from people of the black social status was massive. So she quotes him, said, "We built the most powerful nation in the world." She could have responded in any type of respectful way, but instead she says, "Please, your ancestors were farm equipment. If you were capable of building anything by yourselves without direction from whites, explain Liberia," which was a whole weird project to begin with, Liberia. And she's this. You hear many racist people say things like this. No, we are here in this land. We're the Negroes of the land. This is our home. We have immigrants, Taiwanese immigrants and others who have no appreciation for the civil rights that they enjoy due to the struggles of black Americans. And they literally want to just simply come here and basically join and have alliances with, racists of the white social status. So if our ancestors are farm equipment, why do you have to put laws on farm equipment? Do you need a KKK, a white supremacist Aryan nations and Aryan Brotherhood to intimidate and subjugate farm equipment? So no, we're not farm equipment. You don't need laws for farm equipment. So Diane Yap is very, very stringent about being logical. Well, obviously, if you're being logical, you do not need any laws for farm equipment. You do not need to consider farm equipment to be 3/4 of a man, because obviously a farm equipment, a piece of equipment, a tool, is not a man in any sense. But they had to do that. These white supremacists that basically, created this idea called America, which is a terrible idea because it's built upon slavery, land theft, thievery, and lies. That's what it's built upon. And you have immigrants who come and say, "Oh, it's the land of opportunity. We get to get something." "Oh, you do? Well, what color is your skin?" "Oh, it's not white, but we have civil rights." Yes, thanks to black people suffering, getting assaulted by the KKK, having their skin peeled off by water cannons as they were protesting and marching, having their legs being bitten by dogs, having chunks of their legs being bitten by dogs, being beaten, kicked, and murdered on a daily basis. We have Taiwanese immigrants from all over the world. And now we have the black social status, have people of, homosexual communities who now, hey, let's invite the anti-black bigot on our channel. This is how I see it. This is how many of us people of the black social status are seeing this, because we know who she is. The fact that, "Oh, we were ignorant of what she said." Oh, really? You can find so much information on this woman is ridiculous. So there are no excuses for this. So this is why I am exposing the navel gaze. And personally, I think that the navel, of all the names you could come up for your channel, navel, my goodness, some people have no style. Some people have no style. Come on, get some style, I would say. Frankly, and that's me saying that. That's me being disrespectful in that sense. Let's go to the next one. White Asian alliance now. White Asian alliance tomorrow. White Asian alliance forever. And she believes this. Okay, this is a post that, she's going to repeat herself. In case you didn't understand her the first time, she's going to say it. Do I have to say it again? Black people did not build this country. They were glorified farm equipment. You see, she dehumanizes people of the black social status. She dehumanizes us. So it's just like I said, you sat down with a bigot. You were all too comfortable to sit down with this bigot. There was information about her, about who she was. You could have did even just a little research. There are people all over YouTube talking about this, but do you listen to them? No. You decide to invite anti-black bigot Diane Yap on your channel. Now everyone knows what you're about. Now everyone knows what you're about. You did not have to invite this woman. You could have decided, wait, she's talking about transgenders and other people that, we don't necessarily agree with, and let's bring her on. But you do realize that she's only talking about transgenders because she got in such deep trouble and she got such a bad reputation simply due to her talking about people of the black social status. So you say, oh, my enemy's enemy is my friend. People get in trouble and people look stupid for applying that logic. Oh, well, she's talking about my enemy, so she must be my friend. And this is the stupidity of it. Now us people of the black social status, I am directing them to look at you cross-eyed and say, hey, the navel gaze, no, they invited Diane Yap on their channel. Keep that in mind, that these people literally invited an anti-black bigot on their channel. Okay. I mean, they're a small channel just like me. How many subscribers do I have? Like 155? It's a whole podcast with like 3 people. You people should at least be pulling on at least, 1,000 at this point. But without any doubt, I just feel the need to literally expose all of you. This information is well known. I suppose it really does not mean much to them. But frankly, to those of us of the black social status who have our dignity, no, we know what you're about. We know who you invite on your podcast without any problem, who you will talk to and smile and laugh with. So it wouldn't matter who did this. If it was some conservative, super, fundamentalist group or anything like that, I would say, hey, let's talk about these people. It has nothing to do with who they are, be they liberal or conservative. Okay? To me, many of the liberals are white supremacists, many of the conservatives are white supremacists. And they're comfortable with it. And they don't really have, issues of people of the black social status in view. And this is all too proven with people like Diane Yap. Diane Yap may not be conservative, and that's why, and she is not conservative. She's a liberal herself, and that's exactly why she goes on this channel, and she has new friends. That's because many of you don't actually care about those of the black social status, as long as they're with you for whatever, sort of sexual rights that you basically promote and, defend. That's fine for you. Even if they're an anti-black bigot, you don't care. And you'll talk about your own civil rights, but in regard to the civil rights that really opened the doors for all these other groups to say, hey, we need civil rights too. Well, if it were not for the black civil rights movement in this country, no one really would even be talking about this. The black people of the black social status were the ones that suffered for it. So all these other groups, immigrant groups, people of different sexual orientations, everyone comes out and says this: we need our civil rights. Well, why is that? Why is that? The first group that was protesting, seriously for their civil rights was the people of the black social status. That was the biggest civil rights movement in the 1960s and even previous to that. And when you see the disrespect to invite a person who's well known for being a racist, it puts everything into context. It really does. So she had to repeat herself again. Okay? Excuse me. Now this person's talking about how people of the black social status, us Negroes, who, we're brown skinned, we're Africans, you can find black people in Fiji, you can find black people, Aboriginal Australians, you can find Orang Asli in Malaysia, you can find the Manik tribe. They have black, they have dark skin, they have afros, they're in Thailand. You can find Black people off the coast of India and Sentinel Island, Madagascar, all types of places. You can find different phenotypes of American Indians that look black. All right? There are many different phenotypes, throughout America of indigenous people. The same thing is true of Latin America. Black people are all over the world. Scientific and archaeological data establishes that the people we call Asian, the people we call European now, came from black people. Everyone came from, the oft-hated African. The people who were hated in this world. The dark people. So what does she say? She says, don't get me started on taught the world math. Please, so many of you can't even understand per capita. She's just talking about statistics because she likes to say, well, the statistics say black people commit more crime and that's per capita. You see, she has no respect for people of the black social status. She says that we're farm equipment. She says, oh, you can't even understand math. No, we just don't appreciate corruption. We don't appreciate it. Okay, we don't appreciate corrupt systems that put people of the black social status in prison at a higher rate and then come back and say, oh, well, we have the statistics, you people in prison, you people have committed crimes. Yes, they've been discriminating against people of the black social status ever since they started dealing with us. These people of the white social status of European descent. It's been that way. So this was a post having to do with a fight at a restaurant. And the woman said, this is why we used to have whites only restaurants. So basically, the woman's a racist. She wants to think of herself as white. I happen to go into detail about, cases where other immigrants before her, in earlier years tried to be classified as white in this country, and the Supreme Court said you're not white because you're not the Caucasian race. So there's a precedent for that. There's a precedent for that. You may think you're white. You may think that your interests align with racists of the white social status, but the truth is it's not the case. But anyhow, this woman is a racist. So they invited a racist on their channel, and they didn't respond to this comment. They didn't respond to this comment I left, and so I felt the need. I said, I should make response videos to the navel gaze. Whatever navel is supposed to mean, what, your belly button? What are you talking about? How corny. How corny. But basically, yes, these people are, they decided to have a pale supremacist on their channel, a Taiwanese, racist, anti-black bigot, a Taiwanese pale supremacist. So they decided, well, Diane Yap is talking about people who consider themselves transgender, and so we might as well just bring her on. And they had to know this woman has a long history of being an anti-black bigot, because most people who deal with that are attracted to her because of that fact. So yes, the navel gaze, as far as I'm concerned, your whole channel is anti-black. And I'm letting everyone know. I am letting them know right now. So people, they did a video 2 weeks ago. I left this comment 3 weeks ago. They decided to ignore my comment. So I decided, it's time for me to just respond. Let people know the navel gaze, support and promote racists, because that's what you're doing. Diane Yap has been trying to raise her reputation for a long time now. She has been trying to recover her reputation ever since she had started to really get a lot of attention for her racist behavior online. And so the navel gaze felt, hey, we might as well give you a popularity boost. And that is what it is. And so, frankly, I have no respect for it. A lot of us people in the black community, in a black social status community, we don't have respect for her. We don't have respect for you. You know, because, you know who that woman is. You would not have invited her if you did not know who that woman was. You know exactly who she is. And there's no way you can pretend to be ignorant about who she is. Anyhow, viewers, this was excellent. May you be blessed, and farewell.